Barry here from Make It So Adult Fitness in Long Beach, talking today about training with resistance bands. This video is going to be a tutorial about band training, and I'm going to break this up into different segments. Each segment will be a separate video. So I want to talk first about just what the whole idea of band training is, with understanding about your muscles. Understand that muscles are stupid, muscles are lazy, and muscles are smart. What does all that mean? Muscles are stupid in that they have no idea when they're asked to perform a task that requires strength or power, whether you're using a dumbbell, a barbell, a weight machine in the gym, your body weight like you're doing push-ups, or you're using resistance bands. All your muscles understand is they're being asked to perform a task that requires strength, power, and sometimes agility. They understand how hard they're being asked to work. Your muscles are lazy. They don't want to work any harder than they have to. So they will automatically recruit the muscle fibers, and if you're not using a machine, assume whatever body position is necessary for efficient movement while applying strength and power. Your muscles are smart because they don't want to work any harder than they have to complete a task. What they basically do is say, wait a minute, if this is what this gal expects me to do, if this is what this guy keeps telling me I have to do, which I can do, but it's harder than what I'm used to doing, well, I'm going to pretty quickly just do what's called adapting by getting stronger, so I can go back to being lazy and not working any harder than I have to. So here's the beautiful thing about bands. Your muscles, they don't know, like I said, whether you're working with a dumbbell, this is a 2-pound dumbbell, a barbell looks just like this, except this part is much longer with these ends, with these on the ends. So a dumbbell would be one arm at a time, a barbell would be 2 ends at a time, but it's basically the same kind of equipment. So it doesn't know whether it's this, it doesn't know if you're sitting on an exercise machine, pushing or curling or pressing, or whether using resistance bands doing the same thing. All it knows is there's a workload to do and it can do it, or it can't do it. What you want to be doing for your training is working with a level of resistance that, again, your muscles are capable of doing, but that's harder than what they're accustomed to doing. And then over time meaning every 3 or 4 days, or every week or so, those muscles will adapt and become a little stronger, so it can perform those movements that are being required of it more efficiently, so they can go back to being lazy, not having to work hard. Okay, enter resistance bands. There's different kinds of resistance bands, but I'm going to focus today on the 2 main types. This is a flat band. If you've ever been in physical therapy, you have maybe used one of these with your physical therapist. Typically, it will be a much lighter band. For instance, this band looks like this band except for the color, but this is very thin. This has about the thickness and the feel of maybe tissue paper. This is actually a light band, but for a strength training band, which is much more resistance than this, and this goes from light to medium resistance, heavy resistance, and extra heavy resistance. meaning the thickness of the material. The bands that I use are from Nebu Fit, and these are all 6 feet tall. Most resistance bands that you would buy are 5 feet tall. I like that extra foot, and I'll get into why in a while. They have the same width, so the only thing that's different is the actual thickness of the band that will determine how much resistance it is. And then continuous loop bands. Now both the flat bands and the continuous loop bands, if you're working with me at Fitness 19 in the gym, you know that we use both kinds. Continuous loop band is, as the name implies, it's a loop. All of these bands are 41 inches long. They're all, except for 2 of them, and I'll talk about that at another time, are 500 millimeters thick. The orange one is half that. So anything that I can do with this band, or any of the other colors of the same band, I can do with this band, or any of the other colors of the continuous loop variety. The 2 main ways that we'll train with bands is either freestanding, or what's called ground-based, where they're not attached to anything, or with the bands attached to a fixed site. So I'll come back to that in a moment. First, I want to introduce you to this elaborate contraption that you see that's called an ultra anchor. This works for me because I'm all the time doing different exercises, experimenting with different exercises in addition to my own personal workouts. What you would need is not this. All you need is a simple door anchor, which allows you to do basically the same thing at home. Door anchors all do the same thing. They come in different configurations. So these all do the same thing. And let me show you how these work. This is the one as a door anchor that I especially like, and the one that if I have to be out on the road and I'm using a door anchor, this is the one I prefer to use, but I can actually use any of them with no problem. You'll notice with the ultra anchor, there are anchoring sites like here, here, there's one down here, and there's one down here in the bottom. It's the same thing in the middle, and the same thing on this side. There's also these D-rings here, 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 and down below for attaching with either handles or with any other kind of band if you want to use it that way. So let's take a break. When we come back, I'll talk about how to set up your door anchor and some basic exercises that you can do. And again, this will not be to give you a workout to do as much as just to demonstrate the kinds of things that you can do with each type of band. So I'll be back in a moment.